Hello, my name is Bishop Richard Pates, and I'm very privileged to serve as the Bishop of Des Moines in Iowa. And on behalf of the Iowa Catholic Conference, which the four bishops of Iowa represent, I'm very happy to speak with you briefly about your great privilege. That great privilege is to vote. Voting is a privilege which also extends to becoming a responsibility. We need to look at how we are governed. We need to look at the principles that govern us. We need to vote in such a way that we think first and foremost of the values that we learn from the gospel. The gospel through Jesus teaches us as Christians, as Catholics, how our orientation should be toward those with whom we live, including ourselves. So if you look at the gospel, you'll find that first and foremost that what is taught to us is the fact of the human person, that Jesus is always reaching out to the human person so that that person has dignity, that person is entitled to life, that person is entitled to the very basics that make life for him or her dignified. And as we come upon the presidential elections this year, as well as the other elections in the cycle in November, I would like you to consider at least a few issues or areas. The very first is creation. Creation, we know, is God's handiwork. We are the beneficiaries of it. It is intended for us to be used for ourselves, but also to serve the common good. We have to be very careful not to destroy it, not to act in such a way that we make shambles of it, as seems to be the case today with climate change. And so we need to take a very clear look at that. It impacts us in terms of the beauty of God's handiwork and the fact that the change is occurring at such a rate that it might have a very deleterious bad effect on future generations. So we want to really address the question. We can be proud here in Iowa that we have the production of energy that is renewable through all the wind effort in the state. I think we produce the most renewable energy of any state in the country. There is a case of individuals who are doing building and construction, etc. They're using solar panels, again, renewable energy, something that we can do. And then our churches are developing systems that really are dependent on renewable energy. So what we really need to do is to follow through so that public policy supports these efforts, that we are moving in a very positive direction, that we are generating great hope, and we need to move forward with that in a very positive way in terms of the creation. So it enters into politics in the certain sense that we need to promote this through partnership of private and the public good. Secondly, we need to really consider a peace around the world, that we know that through the terrorism and other situations in the world today, they create a great deal of anxiety in all of us. How do we move forward with a peace that is extraordinarily going to be productive and sustainable for time to come? One of the issues I think that we continue to need to address is that of the problem with nuclear destruction, nuclear bombs. And the only good that nuclear bombs really have is that they will never be used. But when we begin talking about the possibility of using them, then we're creating an environment that someday they might be used. The safest will ever be is when there are no more nuclear weapons, because they can never be used. Sensible? And so I think we need to move in a direction through our public policy of the removal of nuclear armaments from all of our, the situation where we have them stockpiled, all of that sort of thing, and continue to move in that very positive direction. And finally, we look at helping people. The economy is very important, that if we believe through the gospel that we are all called to support one another, the dignity of the human person, that person, because has been created by God and loved by God, they become a part of the human family. They become our sisters and brothers. And they are entitled to some very basic rights that God has in mind, that all of creation is meant for the utilization of all people, not just a very special few, but all should have adequate resources in order that they have a decent life in recognizing their inherent dignity as a brother and sister to us, the human family, and as a member of God's family. So we look at their ability to have decent paying jobs. We look at the ability for them to have good and strong education. Also for them to have some decent housing in a way that really promotes family life. All of these are issues that take on a certain direction through whom we vote for, obviously, and therefore we bring our total person. Our person as a Christian, as a believer, a follower of Jesus, as one who truly lives by the gospel. So please remember to vote. Please look at your consciences, see how they are in coordination with the gospel, and then you will do yourself a favor, fulfill your responsibility, and fulfill it in a way that really is going to give life and bring a certain sense of dignity and justice to all God's people.